Hi, this is Good Game with the mtgnoob.com, and I'm bringing you a standard daily event today with Blue-White Delver. This is the list I used to win a recent PTQ. It's a pretty standard list. The only big difference is I have blade splicers instead of Geist of Same Draft. Otherwise you have 10 cantrips. I like Thought Scour a lot better than Gitaxian Probe. There's just so much more utility to it. Like I really don't like paying 2 life in most of the matchups that are common right now. So I'd rather just have Thought Scours. The instant speed is really great, especially with Snapcaster Mage. Being able to end of turn Snapcaster, draw a card is just a really good option to have. Then you have all your disruption spells, snags, dismember, gut shots, and mana leaks. Creatures, delvers, snapcasters, restoration angels are pretty standard. And then, like I said, I've got blade splicers instead of Geist of St. Drafts because in just about every matchup except the mirror and then random control decks, I'd rather have blade splicer. Especially against decks that play Thragtusk, which is a very popular new card. Blade splicer makes Thragtusk look like kind of a joke. Like, it just doesn't do much against you. Gaining 5 life is obviously a little annoying, but nothing that can't be dealt with when your blade splicer just blanks their whole card. So, especially if you get Restoration Angel going with it. It's also just way better against stuff like zombies or red-green aggro or whatever. Any deck that's trying to attack you, the 3/3 golem is a big obstacle they have to get around. And another addition that most lists don't have is the 2 phantasmal image. I have these just because we aren't playing Geist of St. Draft, so you really need a good answer to Geist of St. Draft. And image does the job pretty well. It's also really good against, again, all of the green decks, so I really like the main deck images. For my equipment package, I'm playing 2 ruinchanters pikes. I actually played 1 pike and 1 sword in the PTQ, but the sword was always really clunky, whereas the pike is a lot easier to cast. Cast and equip in 1 turn, or to cast and leave up mana leak, or to cast around mana leak. So I like the second pike a lot better. My mana base is a little different than most people's as well. I've got 3 cavern souls because with Blade Splicer, Cavern on Human cast almost all of your creatures, so it's not as awkward as having spirits in your deck. So I found that you don't really need the planes, and having your splicers and restoration angels uncounterable is really important in game 1 of the mirror match, and also against random control decks that play a bunch of counter spells. The sideboard is I've got 2 ghost quarters for ramp, along with 2 more images. I know this plan's been out for a while, but I really like it. Being able to copy their Primeval Titan to go get 2 ghost quarters to just kill their 2 wolf runs, then they're left with just 6/6s, which are annoying, but you can deal with 6/6s. You have Vapor Snags and Dismember and whatnot. The 2 mental missteps for the mirror. Vapor Snag is really important in the mirror. Being aggressive is really important. So if you can land a Delver, protect it from snag or gut shot, while perhaps killing their Delver, that goes a long way. The 4th gut shot is for all the Birds of Paradise decks in the mirror. The 4 Celestial Purge are almost exclusively for zombies. Zombies is kind of a tough matchup, but I feel with 4 Purge post board it gets way better, and our matchup is actually decent because of it. They're also good against random Soren Markovs or Liliana of the Veils that you happen to run into. The Divine Offering has a lot of uses. It's good in the mirror. It's really good against Pod, especially if they have Blade Splicers. There's another target for it. It's good against the random Tezzeret decks, all the black-white control deck that plays Pristine Talismans. Any of those decks, it's got some utility against trading post decks. Just a good option to have. Dissipates for the control decks, the ramp deck. Just another deck where you want a hard counter spell. Day of Judgement is a little awkward, and it's one of the cards that I've been considering cutting. It's awkward because the mana base is kind of awkward for it. Like, we have 3 caverns to support these white spells. Obviously, that doesn't help us cast a Day of Judgement, but it is really good against the green-white elf deck or the mono-green ramp deck, and it's not bad against red-green ramp either. So I do like it, but I'm not quite sure about it yet. The Sphinx is also for the ramp deck and all the green decks. It's just a big threat that they almost have to answer, otherwise they just get buried in card advantage. And a lot of people are playing Combust now instead of stuff like Crushing Vines or Plummet, so they sometimes just don't have an out to this guy. He's just a really good card. And then, I forgot about the images, but the images are good in a lot of matchups as well. They're really good in the mirror. If they have Geist of St. Draft, you just have to kill Geist of St. Draft. So they do a very good job at that. They're really good against a deck that has Thrawn or Talrand or just all the green decks with Strangler Geists, Blade Splicers, Geist Honor Monks. There's so many good targets in this format right now. So I like the additional 2 in the sideboard for matchups where you need them. So let's move on to the daily event.